Well, I didn't know anybody when I first moved to Nashville. The reason that I moved was because it was more of a history lesson. A lot of my country music heroes that I'd read about in biographies were affiliated with Nashville in some way, and I wanted to be where the action was. I didn't want to just read about it. I thought, hey, no matter what, the history is it's undeniable, and you can always learn from it and be inspired by it. So I thought I would just come here and check it out. My mom, she's Northern Irish, so it's kind of funny that she was into it, but she loved Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and Chris Christopherson. She had a crush on when I was younger, and she loved all things Southern. Like I grew up watching Gone with the Wind, and she was into all like Civil War era stuff, and yeah, just because of her, I got interested. I guess it planted a seed for the South and for country music. I've been playing all over the place. Recently just did Canada, US, and then had Christmas break and did UK and Europe. And now I have a little East Coast run happening and then off to Australia. I do, yes. I have 3 records that I've put out on Last Gang: Little Red Boots, Cigarettes and Truck Stops, and Tin Star, which is the most recent one. Two of them were recorded here in town, and Tin Star really does speak to Nashville, literally. In the song Tin Star, I talk about what it's like to be a struggling musician amidst a city, that celebrates its country music stars. Yeah, my dad was a bass player in a Latin band when I was very young, so I think seeing him on stage when I was a kid just sort of made me awestruck about the stage and being a performer. So yeah, he sort of influenced me into getting involved a little bit. But we had a treasure trove of musical equipment in our basement, so I'd always go down and play guitars and play keyboards and bass and play with the microphones. It was fun. I think I was 16, 15 or 16. I had no idea I could sing. A friend of mine at school tapped me on the shoulder when I was in high school, and I was singing along to a tape on my Walkman, back when Walkmans existed. And she said, "Was that you singing?" And I was like, "Yeah, is it awful?" She was like, "No." She goes, you should try out for the variety show that the school's putting on." And I'd never even considered doing anything like that until she mentioned it to me. And so then the idea sort of grew in my mind, and I thought, well, I gotta do this. And that was the first show I played, and it was an addiction that I'm still very much addicted to. When it first came up, the idea was posed to me that I would be opening, I was scared. I thought there's no way that a punk audience is going to accept the kind of music that I do. And I was really worried that they were going to throw tomatoes at me or something, and it wasn't going to work. But then I started to think about, Mike Ness seems to handpick who his opening acts are, and I don't think he would, throw somebody to the wolves in a malicious way, and I think he felt that his audience would have accepted what I would do. So that was a comfort to me going into it. And I knew that I couldn't be meek, when I got up on stage. Like I really had to own who I was and have an attitude about it and just show people like what I'm all about and give her hell. And it was amazing. They were such a great, appreciative audience. They come out to my shows now that where I'm not affiliated with Social Distortion, and they still come out, and it's really been amazing for me, and I loved every second of those. I did 2 tours with them, and I loved every second of it. Yeah, my dad had a guitar, classical nylon string guitar, hanging up on the wall at our home. He'd bought it from my mom, and she wasn't interested in really learning it. And so because I think it was hanging on the wall, it was kind of like this thing to me, like a piece of art or something. And I was like, I want to learn how to play that. So he showed me a C and a G, and to this day it's kind of like the only chords that I can still name, and the rest of them I just taught myself. And yeah, I've just been, as I go along, like I'm learning things all the time, and I recently just, started fiddling with open D tuning and all that sort of stuff, and branching out. And I love guitar because there's just so much to learn. Yeah, I write primarily on guitar. I do have a piano, but guitar just seems more natural to me, I think. No, that was new. This was like the whammy bar is the new thing for me. I went to Guitar Center, and I was just hanging out there. We have a friend that works in the Boston store, and I was just trying out some guitars, and it was like my first time I was playing with a whammy bar, and I was like, why didn't I play with this sooner? What's going on? And it just had that sort of Quentin Tarantino, music vibe, from his movies, and I thought, wow, that's what I need. That's what I need in my life. And then I fell in love with the whammy bar, and now I can't do without. Well, you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Lindi Ortega, or Facebook at facebook.com/Lindi Ortega fans. I'm also at Instagram, Lindi_Ortega, and that's Lindi with 2 I's. Hi, I'm Lindi Ortega, and I'm at the Epiphone Headquarters in Nashville, and I love the Swingster. Hey, that's a cool name for a guitar. And it's got an awesome whammy bar, which is a lot of fun, and all these great little knobs that you can make different tones and sounds with, and it comes in great colors. I think it's orange, black, and this dark red, beautiful red color. And yeah, I'm excited to play it out on tour.